Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. We'll have a bunch of the athletic staff starting early today. We've got Jim Curry, athletic director. Got to get him all squared away before he heads down to San Antonio for the Final Four. But just in case, Jim, we're going to use Lucky here. He's going to sit at your desk in your absence. So watch out for any decisions he makes while you're gone.
Well, that's a special lucky there that you've
Isn't it
got.
though?
I don't know if you want to kind of share a little bit on that one, but
I think we ought to share a lot because this is Lucky with a shovel from, well, where's the camera? There it is.
there he
From
is.
last week's dirt turning for the new arena for Lion basketball and other special events.
Yes, it was a great event, a really great turnout, a lot of energy. You could feel it. So it was exciting. And, I kind of said, in my remarks, I said, I'm standing here on the site here where we've got this dirt turning for this event center. But from that very same site, you can 360 and find three different spots where dirt is getting turned or steel's coming out of the ground from that same location with the Buffalo Wild Wings, the rodeo complex, and then the Game Bird Research Center. And that doesn't even include what's happening on, I guess I'll call it the north side of campus. I mean, it's not a massive campus by any means, but the north side of campus with the rec center expansion, just completing the welcome center. So
Sure.
it's just really a testament to everything going on right now at the university and the growth that's going on. But there's not a lot of places in the country you're going to go to right now and find that much activity and investment in the campus going on at the same time. So again, just another credit to all the leadership at the university for what's going on.
What kind of a day was that for Mark Rudin?
I mean, I think for the entire university is a great day, but I know he was having a good time, and but it's funny because you get through that event, and we immediately went to a meeting from there with Mark and Tina and the architects to talk about additional enhancements to the design that we could explore. And so the thing that I love about what we're doing here as a university is we think big, we achieve, we celebrate, we move on to the next, right? And so we don't I guess rest on the laurels. We use that as a springboard for what's coming next. And so I mean, I guess a little bit of a flywheel effect. So I think that explains some of the momentum that you see at the university right now, is that across the board, all across the university, whether it's academics, athletics, the student experience, the capital investment. We've got a lot going on. We will definitely celebrate it, as we should, because wins are hard to come by. I don't care what area of the industry you're in, athletics, academics, what have you. But then we're thinking about how we elevate and use that as the foundation for what's next. And so I think in large part that explains a lot of the momentum, and that's definitely a credit to the leadership that we've got, particularly under President Rubin.
Well, it was a lot of fun. And you said great turnout. Great turnout means there were like, what, 300 people there under that tent for the day?
Yes.
That was cool.
It was cool, and include our student athletes, and you could just tell that they would come up, they'd kind of take some pictures with the dirt. We had the teams there. I mean, you could tell they were excited, right? I mean, this is something special that they're going to be able to tell a story about for generations. That facility coming out of the ground, and it was cool to see some people that have been here for a while as well that maybe have retired from the university or were part of some of the early planning for this as well. So I know this has been a concept that's been out there for a while. I've learned that, but there's a lot of folks that have been thinking about this for some time, and it's nice to kind of finally see it come in for a landing, and also exciting for them to kind of be along with the journey for us too, because they were, they kind of helped lay a little bit of the groundwork for it as well.
Okay. Well, our investigative journalism kicks in here, remembering that we had gold dirt to be turned under the tent. How did that happen? How did you get gold dirt in there?
I do not know. So I will I'll leave that secret to somebody else, because it was impressive. So I've seen that gold dirt before because we've done a lot of groundbreakings of late. So it wasn't the first time I've seen it, but I do get a kick out of it every time I see it.
That's awesome. Great stuff. All right. Well, you were talking about hitting the ground running. We got a couple, make it four people that are running real fast. How about the Lion 4x200-meter relay team? Not just the fastest in college or in the United States, fastest time in the world.
Yeah, last time I checked, that
Wow.
was pretty good, right? Um, yeah, I mean, just we know we've got a special group there. We got a special coach. They continue to raise the bar. One thing I talk a lot about with folks here is the rich track and field tradition that we have here. And it's something to certainly be celebrated. It's why it's been a little bit of some of the, well, not a little bit, kind of front of mind in some of our future planning for what we're doing.
Mhm.
And again, just a great a great group of young people. Obviously, great ambassadors for the university, having 3 Olympians in the past year, including one of them that was on that team. But those the 3 Olympians aside, which again I think is always important to remind people that that's more than 80% of all Division I schools in the country. And so yeah, I mean they continue to just raise the bar. Avi and I were I was joking. George was in my office yesterday, and he said, hey, and he's getting ready to go, and he's like, hey, anything you need from me? I said, you want to break another school record this week, or what do you want to do? And we just kind of laughed, but yeah, they're doing an excellent job. And again, I think anybody that kind of has a little bit of knowledge of the Texas relays and how special that event is, and the world-class quality there, to come out of there with a gold medal is no small feat. So yeah, we're excited about track and field. Obviously, they had a great indoor meet. And then we're excited to see what happens at the end of well, I guess a month from now or so, when we get to the Southern Conference Championships.
1 month, Jim. This
Yeah,
year's almost over.
I know, it's
It-
incredible.
it-
And as we kind of talk about reclass as well, right? And the opportunity for access to championships. I
mhm.
told George this, that, I mean, I've thought about all of our teams, of course, and all of our student athletes, but there's a special group there sitting at the track who certainly have marks that would allow them to qualify for that type of championship. And so, we've thought, we've positioned what we're doing from a scheduling perspective, and continuing to build, whether that's soccer or how we put the football schedule together, or what we're doing with women's golf. We're close in a number of spots to earn it, but we sometimes, I think, miss the individual achievements that are occurring in track and field, because there's no doubt that there's student athletes in that sport right now that could be competing for NCAA championships, certainly have the ability to compete for NCAA championships, but because of the provisional status right now, they're unable to do so. So I think, again, we talk about what we get by completing this reclass process early, and those track and field student athletes are certainly front of mind.
Yep. There may be an asterisk by their name and the year that they competed, but there's no asterisk by the fastest time in the world.
Hey,
That's
that's the
that's
beauty of
just
track,
that's
right?
it. They
The
did it.
clock's the clock.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
We talked about the end of the year too. It's coming, that's for sure.
oh man. Well, spring weekend's kind of like the big blowout ahead of that. And that's coming up not this weekend, but next weekend. This weekend, it'll be softball versus Nichols, and we'll have senior day, celebrate that. So you got to get back from San Antonio, right?
Yep.
And then but what about the spring weekend? That's like we've got, I know we have softball, and I know we have a spring football game. There's also like the world's largest garage sale.
Yeah, actually, we just added another event
Wow.
to the Spring Fest next weekend as well, due in large part to the weather that we had this weekend. So we were supposed to do an Easter egg hunt for the kids after the softball game on Saturday, but now with some of the changes we've got coming with the schedule due to weather, we're going to push that to next weekend. So yeah, you're right. It's we're doing tailgating, and actually we've had a great response on the tailgate locations
Hmm.
for spring games. So that include some of our academic colleges as well. So we're excited to get them out there. They're excited to engage with both prospective, current, and alums. So that's fantastic. We've got the locker room clean out you mentioned. So we've got a ton of just unused, I should add, unused apparel, equipment, shoes, cleats that we just can't use moving forward. And
Yeah, I
so
saw
it's like,
Juanita's list. Just she told me just like 2 days ago.
yeah. So steep, some pretty steep discounts on that type of stuff. And again, all that's just going to kind of go back into the scholarship coffers here. So, because again, we don't have anything else to do, so let's make it available to our fans and to the public. We've got a pretty big junior day coming up with football. So there's a lot of energy there. Should have a few hundred prospects here on campus. We've got the pike crawfish boil that we've talked about. We've got Lion softball for their third home weekend in a row, and then against UIW. And then we've got softball alums here as well, who
Hmm.
will be celebrating the 10 years of the program. We've got a Lion soccer game against La Tech. It's one of those spring exhibition contests. I mentioned the Easter egg hunt after the softball game. We've got a big food truck festival going on in conjunction with everything going on around the stadium. And
Hmm.
then we eventually will get to 4 o'clock where we kick off the spring game. And we'll have that going, and then we'll have just a little bit of meet and greet and autograph session with the players afterwards for anybody who's around. So it's a full day,
Yeah, it
as you can
is.
tell, but we're really excited about it. And credit to the guys over at Pike and what they're doing, because they're as part of that initiative, they're actually fundraising for the Lion Food Pantry here on campus that
Hmm.
supports students that have need there. So, the cool thing about it is there's just a lot of full energy around it from both alumni perspective, current students, student orgs, multiple teams in action. So the only thing left in question at this point is making sure that weather holds out. So we'll get the rain out this weekend, and then we'll set the table for a nice weekend on the 12th.
Man, what a deal. Jim, it was a busy last week. There's still a few more really busy weeks coming up. But what a great time to be a Lion, huh?
No question. Yeah, we've got that the week after women's golf championship, the week after that men's golf championship, week after that will be we may be welcoming a top 25 softball team here to Commerce. Grand Canyon's our last home series
Oh,
midweek
yeah,
game
right.
last week in April. Yep. Luckies are that week for student athlete end of year awards banquet. Then we get into softball tournament, which again, with the way they're playing right now, we're starting to make some plans around that. Of course, they're a game out of fourth, I think, right now.
Yeah. There's
Coming
a
out of last
log
week,
jam at 6-6. If they could have just got that sweep, there would have been, I think, 5 teams, half of the conference tied for fourth.
tied for fourth, no doubt. Well, and that's where now we've got 2 series wins, which is obviously important for seeding and postseason qualification. We've got one of the things that everybody's been doing in the league is they've been holding serve at home. So these next couple weekends are really important, obviously, for us in terms of an opportunity to position ourselves. We need some folks to come out and help us in that regard. We know the
Mm-hmm.
weather will be a little dicey on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. We're moving some game times and things like that to accommodate, so we should be able to get them in. And then we get to spring weekend. We need as many people out there as we can to help support softball. But they've been fun to watch. We've talked about that on here before. The bats are getting hot. I
Yep.
think that cold start to the spring season with the weather maybe also reflected a little bit of the bats, but the bats are heating up for sure of late. So
Man, that wind didn't
then
hurt
we'll be in.
any. That
Yeah.
wind, that wind didn't hurt a bit on Saturday when they were
Didn't hurt
flying
one
out of
bit.
there.
So we're second in the conference in home runs, one behind UIW, who comes in here not this weekend but next.
Oh man, what a deal. Jim,
Yep.
I know you got to go. San Antonio's not getting any closer, but make sure you pull over in West and get you some check stop.
There we go. I'll take
All right.
all the suggestions you got for me.
All right, man. Good deal. Safe travels. Lions up. Folks, we've got more of Inside Lion Athletics coming back to you after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back to some more Inside Lion Athletics. We had Jim Curry on earlier to start the show. Now we're going to go because they're the fastest. He got here next in line because they're the fastest in the world. Head coach of the Lion track teams. And this last weekend, he has 4 of the fastest people in the world. George Pincock, tell everybody how long it took for 4 guys to lap the track twice and be ahead of everybody.
Uh, 1 minute, 21 seconds and 80 some tenths. 81, 87. I can't remember to tell you the truth. 121 was the goal. So
Ah, it's
I
so
got,
awesome. And how many times has this ever come up where fastest in the nation, yeah, fastest collegiate, yeah, but fastest in the world?
4x2 is one of those races that's really common. You run it every single weekend in high school.
Hmm.
You get to college uh, far less often. Just the nature of what the NCAA college track and field is. Kind of have to get to a special meet like a Texas relays, maybe a Drake relays, Penn relays.
Right.
And you see it mixed back in. So, you know, it's not uncommon for a college team to have the world's fastest.
Hmm.
But it feels good to be that college team, I will admit.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, we were talking about it just before. You only got to enjoy it for like less than 10 minutes because you had to go talk to a recruit.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I had a phone call scheduled for that day, so I was cheering with the guys, and I stepped out. I saw one of our former athletes, and then on my way back to meet the guys, I was on the phone call with the recruit. So, uh, just try
So
to keep
how'd
it
that
going.
conversation go? Did you just say, "Hi, how are you? Hey, guess what we just did?"
Yeah, I mean, again, I think they were kind of watching the meet. They knew we were there, so they asked how it would go, and I said very good. That's what we want to do, and I'm just proud of my team and just try to recruit people that want to be part of that.
Okay, now of all the sports, of all the coaches on campus, you probably interact more with international students than anybody else. So that leads up to the question, were you recruiting in the country or out of the country on the phone?
That was an international phone call, so
All
that one
right.
was international. So,
Now we
and
won't
I
give it
had
away because we
so
don't want to give up your good athletes, but you know,
yeah,
kind of
not
good
there's
stuff.
there's tons of good athletes out there. So
All right. So, all right, we bragged on the 4x200. We could do it the whole show, but there were some other superlatives garnered down in Austin and in San Marcos this last weekend. Catch us up on those, would you?
yeah, I'm gonna ask for a little forgiveness if I forget anyone or any person, coach along the way, because there was just a lot of good. One of the things that has really stuck out in my mind throughout this outdoor season, early outdoor season, is just our distance group. Mark Hammeder's done a fantastic job with them, has positioned them in a position where, almost every time that group is stepping on the track, they're running lifetime best. Anette Ranma school record in the 1500 for us. We could see it coming, but I think she shaved 9 seconds off her own school record. So that's one that sticks out in my mind. Um, Man, our throws group is doing really well right now. They had some tough conditions down at the Bobcat meet the first day, lots of rain. Our jumpers, I've never seen a long jump where you jump on the board and the water squirts up. So that was a first, but just our group is doing really well for where we're at in the season, and that speaks to their ability to focus on the job at hand, um, and be competitive no matter what's going on with the weather, what's going on with the people in the stands, whether there's nobody or there's a lot of people. They've
Hmm.
been very, very, very focused on just trying to be the best athletes they can be.
Now, did you just kind of tell us a little bit about how it was in San Marcos compared to Austin as far as the crowd size?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the meet in San Marcos is very big
Mhm.
itself, but day one, it rained pretty hard for several hours straight. Um, so there was people there, but they were just kind of hiding behind things, hiding under umbrellas, running across the parking lot to the stadium, just in an attempt to kind of stay dry. So, but by the end of the weekend, the sun was shining.
There you go. Well, it just kind of makes you wish for a little, another couple of weeks of indoor track, doesn't it? When the weather goes bad.
No, I'm ready for outdoor. I can't go back inside right now.
All right, man. So, all right, that's what's happened. What's up next? We're getting closer and closer to the Southland Conference meet.
Yeah, I know. About 6 weeks out, we're in San Angelo, got a group that starts today, some decathletes and some heptathletes. The rest of the team will travel in tomorrow for a meet tomorrow evening and Saturday.
Mhm.
So again, just a good test, an old Lone Star foe that we respect, and we've come here and we've had good competition. So just looking forward to it, and just kind of get through April, keep competing, layer in some rest because we've been going pretty hard and heavy early.
Right?
But just try to keep taking steps forward at the right time and in the right places.
Okay, so in San Angelo, do you run on campus or do you run across the street in San Angelo Memorial?
Yeah, we're in LeGrand Stadium on
Okay,
campus. Yeah, so literally just across the street.
it is, no doubt. All right, man. Well, listen, safe travels to all you Lions headed west, and we can't wait to hear how it went when you return.
Thanks, Charlie.
All right, lines up, everybody.
Yeah.
There's Look at Track and Field. We'll be back with more Inside Lion Athletics right after this. Hey, welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. We go from the thin clads onto the golf course. Brian Dolhide's here. Women finally got into action here in the last month. They were on the course, and how does this last weekend go? I'm just still, my mind's still blown that they're going to be playing at Trinity Forest, and that's SMU's home course this weekend. That was
That's
nothing
right.
but trees when I was there. Not at SMU, just Dallas in general.
No, it's a great golf course. So this last weekend we played at Louisiana Monroe. We had three of our girls come in the top 25, and Marie Barretts, she got sixth place or tied for
Wow.
sixth place. So she played really well, and it was fun to watch for sure. Um, we these last couple of weeks we've just been trying to work on our short game after noticing we were struggling around the greens and on the greens
Mhm.
in the previous few tournaments. So we were really happy to see that that work has been paying off, and we beat a couple of solid teams. And so we're looking to continue that trend and keep on working on our short game and get it right for SMU this weekend.
So, Coach, a top 25 finish in a field of how many? I mean, just how,
Yeah, so right around 70, 75.
okay.
Um, so yeah, it was a good field. A lot of really solid teams. So uh, they played really well. I think top 25, you had to shoot six over for three
Uh-huh.
rounds. Um, so two over a round, which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Um,
I could do that in one hole, Coach. I'll do it now. I'll see you at the clubhouse.
well, funny enough, Marie, she started the tournament bogey double. So she was three over after two holes. And after 54 holes, she finished one under. So for the rest of the tournament, she was four under. So that was pretty great.
Man, that's good stuff. I bet everybody wanted to touch your clubs on the team.
Yeah, no, it was good to see for sure. I mean, and just impressive for all of the girls to bounce back after our first round. We shot 17 over in the morning on Monday, and then in the afternoon we shot four over on the same golf course, same pins, uh, probably a little bit more difficult conditions. So we just need to get that first round under control, and we'll be rolling.
All right. So we were talking a little bit about wet conditions and what you do, and what did you say? Swing, clean and place, or how did you describe that? Wet
Yeah,
weather practice?
lift, clean, and place. So typically out on the golf course, if it's pretty wet out there, the tournament host will say, you can mark your ball, you can clean it up in the fairway, and then place your ball back down so you can clean the ball so it doesn't have a bunch of mud on it.
Right. How closely does the other team watch? Make sure you don't improve your lot somehow.
Well, it's a game of integrity, obviously. So
Isn't it great?
we all trust each other in that aspect of the game for sure.
What other sport do you call a penalty on yourself?
Not many, that's for sure. So
I don't
it's
know at all.
definitely very interesting.
All right. So the guys, they didn't have a scheduled tourney. What are they doing? I mean, just out at Top Golf doing hitting long balls, looking for targets, or what?
The guys are working on dialing in their distances and just preparing for our next event. They'll play some tournaments here and there on their own, just given that we had, I believe, a 3 to 4 week break between tournaments. So really just trying to dial in our games and get ready for Arkansas State in a week and a half, and then we'll head on to conference down at Comanche Trace. So
Okay.
it'll be good.
So when the guys just go basically pick up a game somewhere, I mean, does it need to be another collegiate thing, or can they just go play at the Bushwood Invitational, or uh, how does that work for those guys? How much are they on their own?
We'll still have practice, but sometimes they'll sign up for a tournament, and I'd prefer that they go compete rather than just practice. So whenever they sign up for an amateur event in the local Dallas area, then they're more than welcome to go miss a practice and play a tournament.
All right, good stuff.
Mhm.
It's a little bit overcast. You said the last tournament, the women wearing was a little bit muddy, and you're worried a bit about conditions for the weekend coming up. Who's the best mudder on the team? I mean, that's got to apply in golf. Somebody that plays well in really bad conditions.
Yeah, all of them can. We've been practicing in pretty rough conditions all semester, but typically it would be somebody with, a better short game. Probably the best short game on the team would have to help, because you're not in really breezy conditions. You're not hitting as many greens as you normally would. So,
Yeah.
whoever has the best short game and the most confidence that day.
Okay.
It can vary.
Coach, men's team or women's, don't pick me. I'm not the one. All right, man. Well, listen, I know you're going to be ready to hit the road with the women. Safe travels to you, and man, have fun down at Trinity Forest. Have you played that course?
I have. I played there about 3 years ago, so it may have changed up a bit on me, but it's a beautiful golf course, and they've got some really nice facilities out there. So we're really excited to get out there.
How much of it runs along the river? Any of it, or does it get that to touch it, or is it just in the forest?
That part I wouldn't be able to answer
Okay.
correctly. I don't know. I don't know exactly.
All right. I'm going to have to get out there and watch them sometime, and that'll satisfy an inquiring mind. Coach,
That's right.
safe travels, Lions up, and we'll hear about good golf next week. All right, folks, stick around. We've got a little more to go. Softball action this weekend. They've changed the schedule up so we can work around the rain. Don't go away. Hey, everybody, welcome back for some more Inside Lion Athletics. We're in the middle of softball season. You don't think we wouldn't talk about it. Got Brittany Miller, head coach of the Lion women, who are fresh off of not a sweep, but they got the series win this last weekend, and they did it not against the Islanders, Northwestern State's Lady Demons that came in. Coach, that doubleheader sweep on Friday was fun, and you nearly had one more walk-off in you on Saturday.
Yes, it was a good weekend. Tatum actually almost walked it off for us that Saturday, which was a close one at the fence, but it was a good weekend. We came out, we were on fire. We make a couple plays and do a couple things different on Saturday, and we get that too. So it's exciting going into this weekend with Nichols senior weekend and, going to be at home.
Coach, I think one thing you can say about the Lions this weekend was they were practically perfect defensively. Was there one error, two errors in the whole series?
Yeah, there's only a couple mishaps, and I think probably a couple that weren't on the error column, more of a mental error.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we did a really good job.
Yeah, the official scorer and the head coach are always going to have a different idea of mental errors and the count on those.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, so Tatum, what did he, what, 3 home runs in that series and a pocket full of RBIs. And yet Molly Vanden Boot of Nichols, who's coming into town next, she ended up getting the award because she was like 2 home runs a game instead of just one.
Oh yeah, Tatum's been doing a really good job for us, especially since we started conference. She's been, hitting up a storm, and she actually almost had that ball,
She did.
that last game that got to the warning track. Thought it was over, would have been a 3-runner, but she's doing a really good job for us.
I think Coach Bustos, Coach Bruiser, she's probably a little easier to be around when they're hitting the ball well, isn't she?
Oh yeah, it's been good. It's good to see, all their hard work paying off and, buying into what we've been trying to get them to do. And it's been really good just all the way around.
All right. This part of the season, last year we're still trying to find a path. Right now you're on a path, and the 2 teams, that you really wanted to get significant wins over, you did. You're fighting for a playoff spot, Coach.
Oh yeah, we're working towards that conference tournament and trying to place ourselves as best as possible in that tournament. We just keep talking, stick to the process, play one game at a time, and we come out with those series wins. It helps our chances. This is going to be a really big weekend for us.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And, there are 4 teams ahead of you, tied for 4th. Lamar, SFA, Nichols, and Houston Christian, all 6-6. And you're just that far from being one of those 4, and Lamar not.
Oh yes, we're right there with them. And the beauty of it is we have all those teams, in front of us besides Lamar, that we got to play. So we get to play, our way through that kind of jam-packed standings. So it's in our control for sure.
So opening up conference play against the defending champs, that they really do have a step up on a lot of people in this league. But after that, let's go get them, right?
Exactly. It's kind of a blessing to be able to play them first.
Get it out of the way. And then the 2 teams that you probably were in the biggest rivalry with going forward for this year, you got them behind you and you're 5-1 against them.
Yes, those were very productive weekends for us, that's for sure. And moving forward with Nichols this weekend, they're going to be right there in that mix too. They were in the middle of the pack last year, so playing them at home is going to be crucial for us.
Well, a big weekend out of Julia Sanchez. She was the pitcher of the week just a few weeks ago. Man, she could have another dynamite outing like that against the Colonels. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh yeah, we got her and we got Kate back that's healthy. So between the 2 of them and Maddie and Emma, we're looking forward to a really good weekend.
Coach, how about your players right now? They're the ones that have the biggest mood swings of all, winning, losing, grinding, just having an easy day. Right now, they got to be on the happier side of life.
Oh yeah, they're good. They're in good spirits. They can see the light, and what we've been talking about all year. And so that's the exciting part, that, the record didn't show the work that they'd been putting in really at the beginning. And so now that we've gotten to conference and they're seeing all their hard work pay off and seeing the wins come in, they've been in really good spirits and really excited about what's in front of us.
All right, Coach. Well, it's the Nichols Colonels in front of everybody coming up soonest. And at home, the Lions have had to change their schedule up just a little bit. Friday's games have been moved to Saturday, and they will be at 4 and 6. Coach, do I have that right?
2 and 4.
2 and 4. And then on Sunday, that's when Saturday's game will be moved back, and that game will be at 10 o'clock Sunday morning.
Correct.
So, you know what that turf is like wet. What are the conditions like when it's real wet but playable?
It's going to be slick a little bit, but we know the bounces. We've been practicing it all year, so it'll be okay.
All right, Coach. Hey, look forward to seeing you and everybody else up there over the weekend. We'll Lions up and sign off from here. Thanks everybody for joining us for another edition of Inside Lion Athletics. Tip of the cap to our executive producer, Avi Maida. See you, everybody.